My husband, who loved me more than life, cheated with a college student. Marcus loved me more than life. Because I had an induced labor in my late pregnancy body, he had been abstaining for over a year. On's day, I wanted to surprise him, but I accidentally saw his phone content. Humph, you're not with me on Valentine's Day today, I'm mad. What's so great about that old woman, don't you dare touch her. In an instant, my mind felt a massive shock. I could check Marcus's phone anytime, but I had never seen this WhatsApp chat before. Buzz buzz buzz. The phone vibrated slightly. Another message came through. Come over tonight and I'll wear that bunny outfit for you, okay? Followed by a shy emoji. My breath hitched. My heart felt like it was violently clutched by a large hand, and I felt as if I had fallen into an endless ice cellar. My hands trembling, I picked up my phone and took a picture of this WhatsApp number. At this moment, from the bathroom, the sound of the doorknob turning came. Click, Marcus stood behind me. I don't know when he got there. Grace, what are you looking at? Marcus was wrapped in a bath towel, his bangs wet. His phone had already been returned to its original state by me. I knew he would never admit to this little bit of evidence. Grandma called again today, urging us to have children. There were tears in my eyes. It was resentment, it was grievance. I couldn't believe this man in front of me would betray our love. Silly girl, don't take mom's words seriously. As long as we're good, it doesn't matter if we have children or not. He smiled dotingly, gently wiping the tears from the corner of my eye with his finger. Do you still love me? I asked. Yes, Marcus, will only love Grace my whole life. He spoke with utmost sincerity. If I hadn't seen those messages, I would have been moved by him again. You haven't touched me in over a year, do you still love me? I smiled bitterly, not exposing his lie. Marcus paused. Grace, Odie, I've been holding back every time. After the induced labor last time, the doctor said it's best not to have children within 3 years. Nothing is more important than your health. He truly was a master of PUA. When he used to say things like that, I would marvel at having found such a good husband. Now, I understood. Men always like new, young things. Marcus was no exception. As long as we take precautions, we won't have a child even if we do it. Hearing this, Marcus's body stiffened. I knew he really didn't want to. His body's reaction couldn't lie. Silly girl, I don't want there to be a barrier when we're intimate. Let's listen to the doctor and wait 2 more years. We'll definitely have a healthy and beautiful baby. His large, well-defined hand stroked my hair. Suddenly, I felt disgusted. This dirty hand had touched that woman countless times. I swatted his hand away and said calmly, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. Okay, does my princess want me to tell her a story to lull her to sleep? He chuckled, teasing me. No need. I turned around. Then I'll go to my study to work for a bit. Good night, wife. Just as he finished speaking, his phone rang. He frowned, glanced at the phone, and hung up, but the person called again. It's like a salesperson, I can't get rid of them, they just stick around. Marcus explained to me helplessly. Block her, I said. Just ignore it, wife, go to sleep. Marcus tucked me in and turned to leave the bedroom. In the darkness, I opened my phone. Marcus's new WhatsApp name was, OMG, my heart's fluttering. The girl's name was, I'm loved. Couples nicknames. I quickly registered a new WhatsApp account, searched for social media video posts by her nickname, and went into the videos she posted. The latest video was in a restaurant. The girl was young and pretty, her small hands were white and delicate, and his other hand was long-fingered, both hands forming a heart shape. Caption, he said he'd spoil E for life. Very sweet. If I hadn't recognized that it was my husband's hand, I would definitely have liked it and commented, what a perfect couple, made for each other. Marcus had a shallow scar on his index finger. Back then, we lived in a small rental apartment, and I had a cold and fever. Marcus clumsily boiled ginger tea with red dates for me, accidentally cutting his index finger while slicing ginger. I still remember him bringing the steaming ginger tea to me, saying, Grace, you need to get well quickly. I just wished to the gods that all your future ailments would transfer to me. I laughed at his silliness. I thought this man loved me very, very much. Turns out, he could love someone else just as much. This man who had loved me wholeheartedly was now wholeheartedly in love with another woman. I suppressed my sorrow, scrolling down involuntarily. The girl loved to share. Going to the beach with her boyfriend, to amusement parks, climbing snowy mountains, shopping, eating. Everything was recorded, but there wasn't a single front-facing photo of Marcus. All were blurry backs. But even if Marcus were burned to ashes, I would still recognize him. 8 years together, all my sincerity fed to the dogs. In the middle of the night, it started raining outside. I heard Marcus's cautious footsteps outside, and the sound of the front door opening and closing. I put on my pajamas and hailed a taxi downstairs. Driver, follow that car ahead. Carol was straightforward. Oh my God, this is my 5th time catching a cheater this year. She skillfully floored the accelerator, closely tailing Marcus's car. Men are all no good, don't you dare go soft, sweetie. Get the evidence first, then make him leave with nothing. My cousin was so foolish, she didn't divorce for the sake of the kids, thinking she'd give her husband another chance. But that scoundrel of a man sweet-talked the evidence away, then secretly transferred his assets, leaving my cousin deep in debt. Tch. Driver was a woman in her 40s, she chattered on and on. I wasn't listening to her, my heart was in a panic. What should I do when I really saw that pair of scoundrels? Go up and tear into her, or curse them out? My heart felt like it was going to leap out, pounding in my throat. Half an hour later, Marcus's car stopped in front of a new apartment. Soon, the girl's slender figure sprinted out of the apartment. Her long hair flew as she ran, exuding a youthful, vibrant aura. When saw the girl's figure, he stepped out of the car with his long legs, holding a black umbrella. The petite figure threw herself into the man's arms, wrapping her arms around his waist, standing on tiptoes, and kissing his thin lips. This scene was exactly like a TV show where the male and female leads, reunited after a long separation, couldn't wait to melt into each other. My hands trembling, I took out my phone and captured this tender moment. Soon after, Marcus put his arm around the girl and they slipped into the back seat of the car. The rain grew heavier. Large raindrops hammered on the car. The pitter-patter of the rain drowned out all other sounds. The dark car, hazard lights flashing, swayed in the heavy rain. Carol, furious, swore, "Damn it, those heartless scoundrels, they have no shame. Don't be afraid, sweetie, if you want to vent, I'll be right there with you. Tonight we'll tear that shameless slut apart." My mind was blank in the taxi. My heart was twisted with pain, as if countless knives were stirring inside me, each beat a heartbreaking agony. I wanted to pull Marcus out, but my legs felt like they were tied with heavy sandbags. I couldn't lift a single step. Tears blurred my vision unknowingly. I had clearly anticipated this scene long ago. It must have happened many times. But seeing it with my own eyes still hurt so much, a pain that pierced to the core. My heart felt like a bloody hole had been dug out, slowly tortured with each cut, bleeding profusely. I was in so much pain I couldn't breathe, weakly uttering one word, "Go." "Sweetie, you can't let them off easily, get the evidence." Carol angrily thumped the steering wheel. "The dash cam in the car is mine." I stared at the car ahead, my voice hoarse. As the taxi passed Marcus's car, Carol honked the horn furiously, but couldn't stop the rocking car. Carol drove and tried to comfort me. "Sweetie, I saw a blogger on TikTok ask 3 profound questions the other day, want to hear them? First, if your husband cheats or you get terminal cancer, which would you choose?" "I'd choose my husband cheating, haha." "Second, if your husband cheats or your child goes missing, which would you choose?" "Of course, I'd choose my husband cheating." "Third, if your husband cheats or you never get rich in this life, which would you choose?" "I'd still choose my husband cheating, right? Men, they're not some rare commodity, we can find them anytime, anywhere." Have you seen the TV show The of Rose starring Lou? She had several men, each one handsomer than the last. Forget your manners, just go crazy if something happens. It's better to make things difficult for others than for yourself. We women just need to focus on making money, and even if you're 80, you can still find an 18-year-old hot guy. Carol talked all the way, and I returned home in a daze. Curled up on the sofa, I immediately opened the dash cam. The screen was loading, and a seductive voice came from inside. "Brother, G gentler. Loading successful." At this moment, Marcus was drenched in sweat. "If I'm not rougher, how can I satisfy a seductress like you? You called me over in the middle of the night, huh? Don't call me tomorrow." The girl's voice was very aggrieved. "It's because I like you so much, it's my own fault for being so sentimental. I especially miss you when it rains." Saying that, the girl started to cry sadly. Marcus kissed away her tears, coaxing, "Be good, I'll stay with you all day today, okay?" Don't cry." I expressionlessly opened my phone to record the screen. My throat felt constricted by a large hand. I bit my lip hard, but I couldn't stop sobbing. The tears flowed uncontrollably. I cried hysterically. Like a wild ghost, hair disheveled, I cried until my eyes swelled and my tears ran dry. I don't know how much time passed until my phone automatically ran out of battery and shut down. On the coffee table was a note he left for me. Urgent matter at the company to handle. Get some good rest at home. I'll give you a little surprise tomorrow. Love, Marcus. He even drew a heart at the end. Marcus. Marcus. He still remembered tomorrow's date. Tomorrow was our wedding anniversary, a date he specifically chose for our wedding, the day after Valentine's Day. The word lover was what Marcus hated the most. When he was in elementary school, his father abandoned him and his mother for a lover. Because of this, he suffered endless scorn and ridicule from relatives and neighbors. Until he met me, he said I was like a little sun shining into his dark life, bringing light into his existence. We dated for 3 years, married for 5 years, and Marcus said more than once, he would never betray me, would never have a mistress. Marcus would only love Grace his entire life, until death do us part. How sad and ridiculous. The note was torn to shreds by me, scattering across the living room. The man I had loved so devotedly, finally died in my heart. Around 5 a.m., Marcus came back, with 2 dark circles under his eyes, carrying a large bouquet of roses. As soon as he returned, he plunged into the kitchen. Soon, Marcus, wearing an apron, brought the breakfast I loved, heart-shaped pancakes, crispy bacon, fluffy scrambled eggs, and some fresh fruit, to the bedroom. My dear wife, wake up quickly, today is our wedding anniversary, I'll take you somewhere nice later. He called me softly. Marcus's voice was so pleasant, in my confusion, I thought I was dreaming. Everything. Yesterday felt so unreal, I wished it was just a nightmare. I sighed and slowly got up. He busied himself setting up breakfast on the small table and squeezing toothpaste for me. For 8 years, this scene played out in our house every day, except when he was on business trips, but even then, he would spend long phone calls with me daily. He was tall, 6 feet 1 inch, handsome, rich, and good-looking, someone many women would flock to. Relatives and friends all praised him as a good husband, a good man, capable and doting on his wife, saying I had really hit the jackpot. But only I knew that 8 years ago, Marcus was a poor kid looked down upon by everyone. Wearing faded jeans, he was mocked and cursed by the villagers. Because his father cheated relatives and neighbors out of a lot of money and ran off with a lover, the villagers took all their anger out on him. I accompanied him as he started from scratch, from a tiny 10-square-meter office to now owning a large company in an entire building. He not only repaid the money his father borrowed from relatives and neighbors but also drove a Maybach and bought a villa. He built a 3-story small villa. A supportive wife helps me achieve great things, and I will repay her richly. This was a phrase he often repeated. The company grew larger and larger, and he never changed towards me. He was still the same Marcus who cared for my every need and was romantic. Except for what happened yesterday, which I never even dreamed of. As I came out of the washroom, Marcus looked up at me. He had expressive eyes, even when looking at a dog, they seemed full of affection. Suddenly, his brows furrowed slightly, and he asked anxiously, Grace, have you been crying? Your eyes are swollen like walnuts? Saying that, he took a peeled egg and rolled it under my eyelids. I turned aside to avoid it. I asked calmly, did you sleep at all last night? No, the company needed things too urgently. I didn't stop all night. Marcus said this, rubbed his temples with his hand, his usually fresh and handsome face now full of exhaustion. Who made you cry again? Did Sarah call for money again? How much does she need this time? I'll transfer it to her. He knew that every time Mom called for money, I would argue with her and end up crying from anger. Hurry and eat breakfast, I'm all yours today. Mine? I scoffed. Are you still my husband? What foolishness are you saying? I am your only legal husband, Grace, we swore to be together forever. I slowly looked up into his eyes. His gaze was sincere and full of affection, there was no hint of pretense, still the same young man whose heart and eyes were filled with me. Tears streamed down again, uncontrollably. He pulled me into his arms, apologizing tenderly, Wife, I'm sorry, company matters have been too much lately, but from now on, I'll make time for you. Haven't you always wanted to go to the beach? We'll go today. My mind was a mess. Should I confront him now? And after the confrontation? Divorce? Or forgive him? We had an 8-year relationship foundation, supporting each other through thick and thin. Marcus was just led astray for a moment, he still cared for me. Although he now had another woman outside, he still took meticulous care of me when he came home. He was willing to spend money on me, and even my parents' family benefited a lot. I also wanted to convince myself to just make it work. But why did my heart ache so much, like a sour taste in my mouth, unable to get rid of it? No, I would not forgive him. I would be strong and reclaim everything that belonged to me. On the way to the beach, Marcus mysteriously pulled out a pink diamond necklace. Wife, I bought this in France last time. Didn't you say you really liked this celebrity-style necklace? I had seen it once while scrolling through my short video feed and casually remarked, this necklace is really pretty, and he had remembered it. I turned my head towards the car window, watching the scenery recede outside, feeling no joy at all. I don't know what I was thinking, but I added the girl's WhatsApp. She accepted immediately. Heh, you're not as stupid as I thought. Marcus hid it so well, yet you found out. Since you already know, then be sensible and get a divorce. The girl was arrogant and overbearing. She already knew of my existence, yet she still chose to be with Marcus. You knew he was married, why did you still do this? I glanced at Marcus, who was driving. He was in a good mood, even humming a song. Hatred surged like a tide in my heart. I clenched my fists, my nails digging hard into my palms. Because he loves me. Love doesn't follow a timeline, and the unloved one is the outsider. I just met him a step later than you. Do you want to make a bet? Bet on what? I know today is your wedding anniversary. I'll bet he'll abandon you to come find me. Okay, I agreed, as if possessed. Just as the car came to a stop, Marcus's phone rang. He glanced at it and immediately hung up. I knew it was that girl. The phone rang again. I glared at him, turn off your phone. I don't want to be disturbed on our wedding anniversary. Marcus hesitated, okay, whatever my wife says. I wasn't in the mood, so after a walk on the beach, I returned to the guest house to rest. In the evening, Marcus asked me to go to the beach to watch the sunset together, but I refused, citing a headache. He said, okay, then you rest a bit, I'll take some photos for you. Marcus eagerly picked up his phone and went out. I knew he was impatient to go out and make a phone call. Half an hour later, he sent me a picture. Wife, the sunset at the beach is truly beautiful. Yes, just like our relationship, which was about to set. It took me a long time to reply with 2 words, very beautiful. Wife, there's something urgent at the branch office in the neighboring city, and I'm close by, so I'll go take care of it and be back soon. I didn't reply, not for a long time. Marcus's phone rang. Wife, did you see my message? It's too much of a coincidence, there's something urgent at the branch office. Today is our wedding anniversary, is the company more important than me? I interrupted him. Of course you're more important, but over there. Go. I closed my eyes, having no more hopes for him. I'll be back very soon, wife, you get some rest. He left. I lost. In fact, I had already lost. Completely. A man who cheats should no longer be hoped for. 8. Suddenly, I remembered a viral jingle about female empowerment and self-reliance I saw on TikTok a few days ago. A popular saying advocating for women's independence, men are often unreliable, women should cultivate a strong, independent spirit. Rather than elevating his ambitions, it's better to secure your own wealth. One day you'll reach the top, with your own fortune and your own chosen companion. At the time, I confidently commented below, there are many good men out there too. Now, I think I was too foolish. About an hour later, the girl sent me a series of pictures. In the photos, an exquisite gift box was open, inside was a sparkling pink diamond necklace. Marcus's back was secretly photographed, a bit blurry. Ambiguous warm yellow light, a messy large bed. That necklace was exactly the same as the one Marcus gave me this morning. Haha, I won. I won't let him leave all night. So what if you have the official title? He hasn't touched you in a long time, has he? I saved all the pictures. First, I called Grandma. After hanging up, I dialed 911. Hello, is this the police station? I'm reporting under my real name. My husband is soliciting at Starlight Hotel. The bedding in that large bed photo had the hotel's logo. This drama was even more exciting than a melodramatic TV show. The police and Grandma arrived one after another. Grandma's face turned ashen with anger. She never imagined that her son she raised with great hardship would turn into the kind of person she hated the most. When the police opened the door with the master key from the hotel, 2 pale bodies intertwined. Grandma rushed up and slapped Marcus across the face. But the girl pushed her back, causing her to stumble backward. Old hag, no wonder Mr. Song doesn't want to leave me, he can never get enough. You're so old and ugly, who could ever touch you? Slap. Marcus slapped her with all his might. Mom! He cried out in alarm. The girl looked shocked. She looked at Grandma, then at Marcus, and hastily apologized. I'm sorry, Auntie. Grandma's chest heaved with anger. She raised her hand and slapped her again. Don't apologize to me, you owe my daughter-in-law an apology. Marcus then noticed me, standing at the very back of the crowd. Grace, let me explain. He ignored everything, wrapped himself in the blanket, and strode towards me. Marcus, I'm still naked, the girl cried out urgently. Quiet down, everyone get dressed, and come with me to the police station, the police said. We received a public report of illegal activity. He's my boyfriend, we're in a consensual relationship, the girl urgently said. Pfft, this is my daughter-in-law, you shameless hussy. Grandma spit at her. Then, she pointed at Marcus's forehead, heartless scoundrel, how could I have raised a son like you? Officer, please provide a copy of the interrogation evidence to my lawyer. I said calmly. Marcus looked at me in confusion. Let's get a divorce, I said calmly. No, I won't divorce, never. Marcus roared. If only he had known this day would come, he wouldn't have done what he did. 8 years ago, he said the same thing. Grace, I would die before I betray you. I took a deep breath, calming my emotions, then go ahead and die. Everyone here is a witness. You are the guilty party. My demand is, you leave with nothing, I emphasized each word. Marcus froze, his face immediately turning pale. He stumbled and knelt before me, his eyes red-rimmed as he pleaded, Grace, I was wrong, you can have all the assets, just forgive me this once, please. The girl grabbed his arm, crying, Marcus, you still have me, I love you, I'm younger than her, but harshly pushed her away, and she fell heavily to the ground. Get lost. Marcus's eyes were filled with undisguised disgust for her. The girl sat disconsolately on the ground, sobbing. Divorce. I left those 2 words and turned resolutely to leave. I entrusted the divorce agreement to my lawyer to give to him. Feeling restless, I went traveling to clear my mind. Marcus called me many times. After I blocked him, he switched phone cards to call again. Discuss anything with my lawyer. I didn't want to say a single word to him. Our mutual friend said he hadn't been to the company in a long time, drinking heavily every day. I smiled and said nothing. It had nothing to do with me anymore. I would no longer stay up all night, worried about his drinking, preparing hangover soup and feeding it to him. I would no longer set alarms at night to get up and give him water. Whether he was well or not, it no longer concerned me. But he still refused to agree to the divorce, so we had to go through legal procedures, which would be quite troublesome. After half a month of traveling, I suddenly received a phone call from Mom. Where have you been? Dad had a sudden brain hemorrhage and collapsed. His condition is very bad, and we couldn't reach you anywhere. When I arrived at the hospital, Marcus was there. He had lost a lot of weight, with a scruffy beard. Gone was his former handsome and dashing appearance. Grace, you're back. I've hired an expert from Metro City for Dad, don't worry, Dad will definitely recover. Dad had been honest and simple his whole life. An old farmer who had toiled on the land their whole lives, he had never seen much of the world. A phrase he often repeated was, education is the only way out for us poor people. You and Alex study hard, Dad would sell everything to support you. Sami. And tears streamed down again, you stubborn girl, where on earth have you been? Dad was just holding on to see you one last time. Dad was wearing an oxygen mask. Hearing I had arrived, he slowly opened his eyes, his large, calloused hand weakly lifting. Grace, live your life well. Dad will be gone sooner or later, don't grieve for me. Dad was weak, gasping several times just to say that one sentence. Dad, I will take good care of Grace, please rest and recover. Marcus knelt by Dad's bedside, gently taking my hand. My fingertips were enveloped by his warm palm, but in an instant, I abruptly pulled my hand away from his. I'm dragging you all down, no more treatment. Dad waved his hand. I held Dad's large hand, crying my eyes out. Dad's funeral arrangements were all handled by Marcus, who ran around taking care of everything. I had tried to make him leave, but he insisted on staying. Mom was overwhelmed with grief, and my brother was still in high school and didn't understand anything. Relatives all praised, William has such a good son-in-law. I heard he runs a company, rich and filial, the funeral was so grand. The young man is so handsome, that girl Grace is so lucky. Relatives and friends chattered away. In their eyes, I had risen in status because I married well, I was lucky. No one understood the hardships I went through, building up everything with Marcus. Outside, a light rain was falling. Dad was placed in that small box, slowly lowered into the grave, and handfuls of yellow earth slowly covered the small box. I cried until my throat was hoarse. I would never again hear Dad's advice, Grace, study hard, grow up and be able to make your own decisions, without having to answer to anyone. Mom, I want a divorce. Marcus has another woman. I thought about it all night. I decided to tell Mom the day after Dad's burial. If William were alive, he wouldn't want his daughter to live a life of grievance, would he? Mom looked at me in disbelief. Despite her very weak body, she trembled as she stood up and strode towards Marcus, who was outside the house. Marcus! Mom gritted her teeth, calling his name. Slap. That slap used all her strength. I held Mom. How dare you treat my daughter like this? What has she ever done to you? Mom's lips trembled with anger. Mom, please persuade Grace, I know I was wrong, I really can't lose her, I don't want a divorce. He knelt before Mom, his voice choked with sobs. He was driven out of the house by my brother. Back inside, Mom sighed. She pulled a card from under the bedsheet and gave it to me. Here's $10,000, you'll need money for the lawsuit, take it. I looked at Mom's wrinkled face. After Dad left, half her hair had turned white. As if she saw the question in my eyes. It's all your money. You always got annoyed when I called asking for money, but I saved it for you every time. Like father, like son, Dad was always afraid Marcus would follow his father's example and mess around, leaving you with a mountain of debt. Marcus camped outside our house, refusing to leave. I had no choice but to go back to Riverton with him. After getting off the train, he trailed carefully behind me, pulling his suitcase. Grace, didn't you want a child? Let's have one today. I'll love a boy or a girl, as long as it's yours. He said coaxingly. Get lost. I pushed him away in disgust. Marcus looked at me, astonished, his eyes red-rimmed. Do you hate me that much? I wish you would just die now. Marcus froze, instantly looking as if all strength had been drained from him. He looked distraught, muttering, will you only forgive me if I die? I turned around and looked at him calmly. Divorce. We can never be. Watch out. I heard Marcus's loud shout, and by the time I reacted, I saw Marcus hit by a speeding car and flung dozens of feet away. He lay in a pool of blood, the car sped off. I had been violently pushed to the side of the road by him. He saved my life without regard for his own. Siren wails approached. Marcus was admitted to the ICU. The doctors issued critical condition notices several times. Grandma and Mom both arrived. The police locked down the entire city and quickly caught the hit-and-run driver. It was Luna. She was a college student. While working a part-time job at a bar, she was harassed, and Marcus rescued her. From then on, she fell deeply in love with this handsome and successful man. After multiple failed confessions, she drugged Marcus's drink at his company. Marcus had always thought the drug was given by a competitor. It was the girl's first time, and Marcus felt very guilty towards her. He gave her a sum of money, but she refused it. Her family favored boys, and she worked part-time while attending school. She had only one request, to be by his side. Later, she joined Marcus's company, and then, not letting me know was Marcus's bottom line. She didn't dare cross it. She knew that if it ever came to me, Marcus would unhesitatingly drive her away. So, she recorded every little detail of her love with her boyfriend in her short videos. That boyfriend never officially appeared in the camera. She hoped I would come across it, find clues, and proactively ask for a divorce. After the police station incident, Marcus fired her and blocked all her contact information. She tried every method, but Marcus avoided seeing her. She blamed all her resentment on me. After woke up, he refused to eat, drink, or cooperate with treatment. Grandma's bitter pleas were in vain. Seeing her son, who was becoming barely recognizable from weight loss, she sighed deeply. She eventually came to me, begging. Grace, Mom is begging you, please don't mention divorce for now. Can you go to the hospital and stay with Marcus for a few days? After all, he saved my life, so I should take care of him until he's discharged. I agreed almost without hesitation. But Martha still hesitated, looking troubled. There's one more thing. Oh, what a sin. Mom is sorry for you, but I can't not say it. Grandma wiped away a tear. Good child, Mom is truly sorry. Grandma's hand trembled slightly as she held mine. I looked at her suspiciously. Since my marriage, Grandma had always treated me well. When we went back to our hometown for holidays, she never made me do housework. She cooked all the meals, and they were always my favorites. When I had small disagreements, Grandma always sided with me. Even with this big incident, Grandma had always stood by me. The only downside was that she often urged us to have children. After a long pause, Grandma spoke again. I have no choice. Oh, Luna is pregnant, and Marcus absolutely refuses to sign the statement of leniency. You want me to write it? I looked at Grandma in front of me, feeling like I had never truly known her. No. Mom stepped forward and shielded me behind her. We just want a divorce now. Your affairs have nothing to do with us. You leave, go be with your ungrateful son. I looked at the elderly woman in front of me, whose hair was already graying at the temples. and couldn't help but remind her gently. If she's pregnant, she doesn't need a statement of leniency, the police will still release her. If he doesn't sign it, Luna says she'll abort the baby. Grandma stomped her foot anxiously. Get out, she deserves it. Mom threw her out of the house. Marcus still refused to sign the divorce agreement. I had no choice but to file for divorce. The day before the hearing, he asked me to meet him. Grace, he pleaded, I would give up my life for you. Can't we just get back together? I took a sip of my coffee and said calmly, "On day, I saw you and her in the car outside the apartment." I looked into his eyes. The pink diamond necklace you gave me, Luna had an identical one. Marcus's face instantly turned pale, and his lips trembled uncontrollably. You fell for her. I watched all the social media video posts she shared. They were very sweet. I let out a bitter laugh. Grace. After a long silence, Marcus closed his eyes in despair. Many women had tried to entice him over the years, but none had succeeded. He wasn't one to let his guard down. If he didn't give her an opening, how could Luna have succeeded? Marcus covered his eyes with both hands and sobbed like a child. That night, he mailed me the signed divorce agreement. He transferred all the assets to me, leaving nothing for himself. Luna caused a scene with him after she found out. During their argument, Marcus pushed Luna down the stairs. She lost the baby. Luna was also paralyzed from the fall. Marcus went to jail for aggravated assault. I had no desire to manage the company. I sold it to Marcus's arch-rival. He was a student a year below us. We hadn't interacted much. I heard he had an idealized first love. He had secretly loved her for many years. After I got married, he went abroad to study. A year after returning home, he founded a company, becoming Marcus's most formidable rival. The sun shone brightly. An airplane slowly traced its path across the sky. I sat on the plane, thousands of feet above the ground, looking down at the sea of clouds outside the window. It was truly beautiful. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your perspectives, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.